Labcorp just dropped its latest earnings, and wow, the numbers are telling a really interesting story. We're going to dive into their pretty incredible growth, their strategy for the future, and a huge challenge that's looming on the horizon. So let's break it all down.
Okay, first thing you see, right out of the gate, is this massive number, 19%. That's the growth in adjusted earnings per share. I mean, to put it simply, their profitability has just skyrocketed compared to last year. You just don't see that kind of strong double-digit growth every day. It's a huge sign that the company is firing on all cylinders.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. The CEO himself, Adam Schechter, basically said the same thing. He pointed right to their strong revenue and better margins as the real engine behind these incredible numbers.
All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. For this first part, we're going to see exactly what made this such a standout quarter for Labcorp. This table here, this really tells you everything you need to know about the company's health. First up, revenue. It's up 9% to a whopping $3.6 billion. But you know, it's not just about making more money. Look at their operating margin. That went up too. That means they're getting way more efficient at turning every dollar of sales into actual profit. And then there's the free cash flow. That's the cash they have left after running the business. An increase of $119 million? That gives them a ton of firepower to invest back into the company's future.
So a 9% jump in revenue is a really big deal. You gotta ask, where is all that growth actually coming from? Let's pop the hood and take a look at Labcorp's main business units.
Okay, on to section 2. We're going to look at the two main engines that are really driving Labcorp's success. That's their diagnostics and their biopharma divisions. This chart gives us a really clear snapshot of how the company is built. As you can see, diagnostics, that's the clinical testing side that most of us are familiar with, is the big one, making up almost 78% of the business. The other 22% or so comes from their biopharma services, which, by the way, plays a super important role in helping get new drugs to market. And here's the really impressive part. Both of these divisions are just crushing it. Diagnostics revenue shot up 8.5%, and the best part? Over 6% of that is what they call organic growth. That means it's coming from their core business, from more people using their services, not just because they bought up a bunch of other companies. And the biopharma side? It's right there with them, posting a really solid 8.3% growth. But if you look a little closer at biopharma, it's kind of a tale of two different stories. Their central laboratories unit, the one that supports these huge clinical trials, is absolutely on fire. Revenue there is up 10%. On the other hand, the early development side is facing some headwinds. They've seen some study starts get delayed, which has caused some softness. Labcorp knows this, though, and they're already restructuring that part of the business to get it back on track. So yeah, a fantastic quarter. But the big question is always, what's next? In Section 3, we're going to dive into Labcorp's actual playbook for keeping this momentum going. Their whole strategy really comes down to three main pillars. First, they're all about smart partnerships and acquisitions. Second, they want to be the leader in high-growth areas like cancer and neurology. And third, they're leaning hard into cutting-edge science and tech. We're talking AI to stay ahead of the curve. And believe me, they're not just talking about acquisitions. They are out there making moves. You can see here, they've been buying up smaller labs to expand their footprint and really deepen their expertise in critical fields like oncology. This is a huge piece of their growth puzzle.
Okay, this is where it gets really, really cool. Labcorp is pushing the envelope on what's even possible in diagnostics. I mean, they've launched a brand new FDA-cleared blood test for Alzheimer's. That is a massive deal for neurology. They're also jumping headfirst into AI, teaming up with Amazon to build a tool that helps doctors make smarter, faster decisions. And they're not keeping this innovation locked away. They're bringing it directly to us, the consumers, with new at-home tests through Labcorp On Demand.
All right, so for Section 4, we have to talk about the flip side. It's not all smooth sailing. No company operates in a bubble, and Labcorp is staring down a pretty significant potential hurdle. So there's this major challenge on the horizon, and it's called PAMA. The short version is that this is a law that could lead to drastic cuts in what Medicare pays for lab tests. And for a company like Labcorp that relies heavily on those payments, well, you can see why this is a serious threat.
And to put a real number on it, if these cuts go through as planned in a couple of years, Labcorp is bracing for a potential hit of $100 million. And that's not just a hit to their revenue, that's a hit that goes straight to their bottom line.
But here's the thing. Labcorp isn't just sitting back and waiting for this to happen. They've got a clear three-part strategy to deal with it. 1, they're on Capitol Hill, lobbying to change the law.
2, they're already getting their finances in order, preparing for that worst-case scenario. And 3, they're using tech like AI to find efficiencies and cost savings to help soften the blow. It's a really smart, proactive plan.
So, after all that, what does it all really mean? In our final section, let's zoom out and look at the big picture for Labcorp and what this means for healthcare.
You know, the CEO's closing statement on their earnings call really sums up their whole mission right now. It's all about this dual focus, driving value for their customers, that's patients and doctors, while also delivering strong returns for their shareholders.
So, to wrap it all up, this was just a powerhouse quarter for Labcorp. They executed their strategy beautifully, they grew the business from the ground up, and they're making really smart bets on the future. And they're doing all of this while keeping a very clear eye on the major regulatory challenges coming down the pike.
And that leaves us with one final thought. As Labcorp pushes deeper and deeper into AI, into consumer health, into groundbreaking Alzheimer's testing, you have to wonder, right? Is this company transforming right before our eyes? Are we watching them go from just a lab service into a central player in the future of preventative medicine? That's something to think about.